Morning, welcome everybody. It's great to see everyone. Today's topic is what nobody tells you about moving to a 55 plus community. So, we always introduce ourselves at the beginning of these live videos. First off, my name's Robert O'Keefe. I'm the creator of Over 55 NJ. And basically, our community here is a resource for people trying to downsize, make educated decisions on their next chapters. We help people make educated decisions in advance. And pretty much, we're here for you. We're here to answer your questions. We're a complete no pressure and no rush company. I would say, on average, the average person that reaches out to us does so within a year and a half 2 years in advance. And we develop great relationships along the way. We have a ton of great resources, downsizing guides, some other things we'll talk about today. And we're just here for you as a resource. I want to shout out Josephine. Thanks for jumping on today. Hopefully, everybody else jumps on too. If you don't have time today, don't worry about it. The meetings are always recorded, but it's fun just having people jump on live, ask questions. You could always ask a question too, by the way. If you have questions along the way, we'll make this pretty interactive and pretty fun. That's one of the reasons why we do the live shows. So today, this will be kind of like unveiling a few layers here of what nobody tells you about moving to a 55 plus community. So, being that we specialize on this, this is a key niche for us. And if you're thinking about starting to move, or if you're already under contract, you're trying to sell your home, this will be a good kind of like an information overview. So before I was preparing for this meeting, I was just speaking to someone who has a child with special needs, and basically she was having a tough time trying to find a community that will accept a son of her age, a son of his age. So you really have to pick the right communities. You really want a big overview of the communities and kind of reverse engineer it based on your needs, your lifestyle, and what you're looking to do. Interesting enough, we thought a better solution for that family. Well, actually, she came up with this idea. Was she wanted a single level solution that's not in a 55 plus community that doesn't have HOA rules. So, kind of interesting there. And that's a kind of a perfect example why we recommend to reach out early and to just kind of let us know your guidelines, let us know what you're looking for. And then we can kind of reverse engineer and cater a solution that works for you. So the first part of kind of this process is preparation, 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 preparation. We like to say we're an advanced planning moving company, advanced planning real estate company. And essentially, what that means is we love to talk to you in advance of your move so we can just clear all the variables and plan ahead. Moving your life, especially as you age, is a big process. It could be scary a lot of times. But if you go step by step, and if you have someone like us that's a no rush company that can consult with you, listen to you, and pretty much answer any question you have. And if we don't know the answers, we'll always reach out and do the research and figure out the answers. It makes a world of difference. So we have a saying that great real estate planning is done in advance. And so you're going to learn a few things in this section about preparing your move. So one, the one thing we talk a lot about too is mindset. We have a saying, it's not downsizing, it's right sizing. And let me tell you a story. So I was working with a couple. They had kind of like a outdated house. They wanted to move closer to family, but they also wanted things in their house that they didn't have now. So we found them a solution in Greenbrier 2 and Brick. This is a nice community. They have a lot of single family homes. So you're not in apartments or condos. It's very private living. They're essentially single family homes. And um, we found them actually something they didn't have, which was a basement. So they actually got more square footage than what they had. They have an updated kitchen now, and now they have a basement. My client liked to play guitar, so he can go down there. He has like a little section in his basement, but he has a ton of storage now in the basement. So they're probably about, I would say, in their 50s, maybe early 60s, and they just have like a ton more room now. So it's a solution where like we sold their house. They were a little silver. We sold their home in the 800K range, and we found them a solution in the 500K range, and they got more space. They paid off all their mortgages. They own the house in cash outright, very low maintenance style. paying less than what they were with more space and the basement. So it's kind of like a solution that was right for them. And it just so happened they didn't want a basement. It just so happened that we came across it and we found it. Their main goal is just to be closer to family. So, what you can learn from that is if you have a checklist, this is a fun activity. If you're grabbing a cup of iced coffee or your favorite beverage, you can just go bring out a yellow pad, take the phone and put it aside for a little bit. I know we use our notes documents on our phone a lot, but grab a yellow pad and just write down everything that's important to you in the new home. I think it's a fun exercise. You'll really get a lot out of it. Um, but think about like what's right for you and what the right space is for you. I have a client that wants a two-car garage now, and he was joking. He's been in his house for 30 years because his wife liked this house, but now he wants a two-car garage. So you'll be surprised that there's solutions like that that are cheaper than his primary residence, where you can get an extra garage. So long story short, it's not downsizing, it's right sizing, and we can find you the right solution that meets your needs, and that's based on your budget. Another thing too is we talked about this last call is test drive your lifestyle. You'll be surprised how many millennials, my generation, buy homes without actually test driving the neighborhood, driving around, checking out the coffee shops, checking out the local eateries, and things of that nature. We're all glued to our phones. Guilty as charged, and pretty much the bias, especially with younger people, is to kind of like pull out and check out every home that's on the app, but there's huge value in driving the areas, particularly on weekends, to kind of see what the neighborhood's like. The mornings when people are getting home from work, the traffic patterns. You definitely want to test drive that. And as you narrow down, and we can help you with this, we recommend narrowing down your top three communities, and ideally your top community. It's just easier to focus, and then test drive that area just to make sure that you're comfortable with it. And again, that just goes back to our theme of the advanced planning and just preparing ahead of time. Now, another important thing is costs. So you will definitely want to understand all the costs of moving into your community. Some communities have welcome to the neighborhood fees. I'm buying a condo myself right now, and I have to pay 2 months ahead of time. Some of them are pretty high. Some of them are $4,000. I think one of our viewers mentioned one in Manalapan. The name escapes me right now. Maybe someone could chime in. Where the welcome to the neighborhood fee was 4,000. This is called an initial HOA contribution. And basically, it goes into the budget to create income for the association. This keeps other fees down. This keeps the HOA low. But you just definitely want to understand any of that before you buy. And then also, of course, the HOA fees, any other additional fees. There was one community, I believe it was Cover Bridge, someone was telling me about, where you have to pay a fee to use the community center. So if you use the community center a lot, that may be important to you. It may be helpful just to get a huge breakdown of all those costs. Um, Going into that is read the community rules. Now, these are hard to get. Usually they're only released when you go under contract, but from speaking to people, we have kind of like a baseline knowledge of a lot of the communities. If not, we'll try and dig and find the answer for you. But just understand the rules. Can you plant a garden? Are there pet weight limits? If I have a son or children, can they stay with me? Always read the community rules and always just make sure you're comfortable with them based on your lifestyle fit. Now, the fun part, and my wife would appreciate this, my wife is a minimalist, is purging. So, purging means throwing out stuff that you don't need anymore. So, we're all guilty of it. We all have a lot of stuff. Um, that's probably the easiest way just to start. We recommend the KonMari method. If you don't know KonMari, she's a famous decluttering expert. She does a lot of consulting work from Japan. And she recommends going room by room. So, pick a room in your house, a basement. You'll be surprised how much stuff you can have in a basement. I recently, probably about a few years ago, I cleaned out my childhood bedroom, and I had 6 garbage bags full of stuff in just my small childhood bedroom. So you'll be surprised just how much stuff you have. And you'll be surprised how much bigger um, your house looks without all the stuff in it. And we'll kind of get you in the mindset just to get rid of things and get you in that mindset to move. So it's not purging. It's purging with a purpose and not panic. Just go room by room. We actually have some downsizing guides. If you want a copy, you could just just write copy in the comments, and we'll be able to send that copy to you. Again, we based it on Cobb Mary. It's a great book. The book's called The Life Changing Magic of Tidying Up is the book. But if you just want the cheat sheet, you can get it from us. Really, no magic to it. Just go room by room and throw out stuff you don't need. You need not contribute to the book sales unless you want to. Um, Now, this is another section. This is one of our favorite sections. This is called selling your current home. So once you purge, once you get ready, once you have a baseline of your research, you want to treat your home as a product and make sure that you're getting the ROI for any jobs you want to do. Some really great ROIs are fixing the curb appeal, changing some planters out front. Another we see is painting. Painting's relatively inexpensive. It can make the whole house look different. And a third is a very underrated one, the hardwood floors. If you want to refinish those generally get a great ROI. A lot of times in a market like New Jersey, where the homes are so competitive, we're just seeing crazy multiple offers for many buyers that we're working with. You really don't have to do any of this if you don't want to. It really comes, the value comes with talking to us and just giving you like an analysis of what you're looking for. We had a client that was thinking about renovating her kitchen, kind of advised her not to do that. That's a big job. And also, we want to leave some meat on the bone for the next buyer to customize the kitchen the way they want to. So they would have been out at least $50,000, but they came to us instead, and we kind of helped them out with that and helped them with that decision. So you want to make sure you're getting an ROI. Treat your home and put on like your entrepreneur hat and make sure you're getting an ROI for any potential investment. Another one is don't wait too long to list. In New Jersey, we're kind of seeing a huge ROI for the homes. Like Americans have a ton of equity in their homes, particularly in New Jersey. So inventory nationwide is up 17%. In New Jersey, it's actually down 5.5%. And in many markets, down even lower. So this huge influx of buyers, there's many millennials and even Gen Z now are aging into their prime, what we call household formation years. That's when they're starting families and they need to buy houses. We're seeing a huge demand, and there's simply more buyers now than there are sellers, especially in New Jersey. So it's kind of funny. You can look on the news and you can see that the inventory is going up and buyers have more selection, but it could be completely false just depending on where you are. If you're looking for a home selling consultation, we can actually run the numbers for you in your neighborhood. But there's a ton of competition right now, and it's really tough for buyers right now. We're seeing some. We just got beat out at least 100,000 over asking. We thought we put in a good bid for this house. There were 7 offers. Routinely, I would say there's about 5 to 7 offers on homes, all over list, and it's very competitive. Buyers are waiving terms, so sellers are very advantageous situation. So how that relates to you and your preparation is you may not have to go crazy. Yes, there are some things where you have to go and prepare the house, get things ready, but you don't have to go crazy with a renovation project. I was talking to a seller that likes to do everything. She wanted to do her kitchen cabinets. She wanted to do this, that. She wanted to like redo her outdoor patio. And I said, it's just simply not necessary. I just would wait and just rest, take it easy, and we'll go over that together. We'll give you some light fixes to do and not some major ones. Sometimes major ones are necessary, but a lot of times, especially in this market, they are not. Bonus tip two is empty your garage. When I bought my house was the previous owner had a ton of stuff in the garage. So, you always want to sell the garage. The garage is very underrated, especially if it's kind of like especially if it's an attached garage. A lot of times, millennials and families will use that garage as extra storage space. And especially a lot of people are coming from the city. So if they see a big open garage, especially a well organized garage, that's a great return too. Um, Mistake is sometimes putting all your stuff in a garage where you could just rent a storage unit or even just throw the stuff out. So key tip right there. Now the last one is mistakes and regrets to avoid. We want you to move with no regrets. That's really the key here. The first regret is don't wait for the perfect time. I was reading kind of a fiction novel the other day. I read fiction before I go to bed. And basically, these people were talking about attacking another group, kind of like a fantasy war novel. great stuff. But in the book, they were saying the leader gives this quote that there's never a perfect time to do anything. You just go. Now, when it comes to moving, you do have to plan ahead. There is never a perfect time to do anything. There is sometimes a perfect time to move. You'll know when the time is right for you. But what I would say to this, and I would put an antidote to it, is there's never the perfect time to start preparing to move and to start doing these little things like the downsizing, cleaning out your garage. Could be any afternoon. Could be just like you want to do this thing here for 20 minutes. You set a 20-minute timer on your phone. There's never the perfect time to not get ready for this. And if you don't do it, I frequently speak to a lot of people that have been in this process, this waiting period for 5 years. So there's never really a perfect time to move. Now is a great time to sell if you want to downsize. We believe 55 plus communities will just keep growing in popularity, especially as more baby boomers age into their downsizing years. So just don't wait for the perfect time. You'll know what time is perfect for you. You can always reach out to us. Like I said, we're in no pressure and no rush company, but don't worry about waiting for the perfect time, and you can always start preparing for that time. The next is don't assume all 55 plus communities are the same. Everyone is different. This comes with being prepared and doing more research. We have access to the entire inventory. I was speaking to a New York seller. New York's a little bit different where there's not really a true MLS in a lot of markets. In New Jersey, everybody co-brokes. And basically that's the real estate term. I mean, you can work with us as the buyer's agent and we can show you the entire inventory. If you say you want a certain community, we have all the access to the listings in that community. If you say you want Tom's River, we can bring up all the 55 plus communities in Tom's River. So we kind of reverse engineer it based on what you're looking for. The next is another mistake is don't let your family talk you into keeping everything. A lot of family members have opinions. We don't want to step on any toes, but this is your move at the end of the day. If you don't want something, um, you can don't feel guilty about getting rid of it. And if it's very important, your family member will take it. I had a client kind of quip that saying, if you want it, you got to come get it before you threw everything out. So just kind of a little common mistake right there, a little quip there. The next is don't DIY everything. So very common. We see a lot of people that are just trying to do everything themselves, especially as you age. It's just simply not possible. Sometimes it's not safe in many cases. There's a ton of services that we can hook you up with. We have estate planning companies if you want to get the valuation on certain items you have. We have um, we have clean out crews, which are good. You can even kind of contract a lot of these people yourself. Actually, there's a great website called TaskRabbit where you can essentially hire people. They're called TaskRabbits to really do anything, to mail you a letter, to be a courier. I had one take down my sign the other day when I was a little bit busy. So don't DIY everything, especially in the internet in the internet age. There's a ton of leverage out there where you can just kind of do. You can leverage your time and just kind of protect your peace of mind there. So this was a lot of great information. Like I said, we have the guide for the decluttering that we're happy to send you and provide for you. We'll just do a couple closes to action first, and then we'll take a few questions. Um, so the first tip, general theme, is to prepare early. We're an advanced planning real estate company. We can help guide you in advance, and we recommend as a first step. This is the fun step too. Is go to our website. It's over55nj.homes, and basically this will pull up every 55 plus community in Monmouth County and Ocean County, New Jersey. If you want a different market, we have the MLS for that. We can target that for you. If you want another solution, we like the person I was talking to today, we can also set you up with single level solutions, capes, ranches. Maybe you don't want a 55 plus community. Maybe you don't want an HOA. We can set you up with a digest like that too. That's very hyper targeted and kind of like sips through all the fluff. So you can have a very targeted approach. So prepare early. Reach out to us early. We're happy to talk to you. Our link to is over55nj.chat. If you want to schedule a call to consult with us, you can also email us at over55nj@gmail.com. Covered a lot there. Sell smart. That goes with advanced planning. We can help consult you with that and avoid common mistakes. You can always reach out to us. I'll help you guide you to the mistakes. No question is too small, and we'll help avoid those mistakes together. Now, let's see. We'll take a few questions before we break. This has been a lot of fun. First question: can I rent first before I buy in a 55 plus community to test it out? Yes, we can. So the 55 plus communities are privately owned in many cases. In most cases, they're individual condos. So some people rent them, and some people want like owning real estate, and some people rent their 55 plus communities. Generally, we recommend buying. Um, you know, at this point, we would have you well researched where you could just buy something. But if you wanted to rent first, that's fine with us. You can rent and buy something. That might be a good step for you to try out the community. Now, the downside to that is there's more sales than there are rentals. And the reason that is a lot of these properties are liquidated in estates. And a lot of times there's just too many people to hold on to a rental property like this. So I would say, if I was to estimate, I would say sales estimate rentals probably 90 to 10% for this asset class. But you can most certainly rent if that's what you want to do. We have a lot of people that do that. A lot of people prefer to rent. Some people can't afford to buy. So it's just whatever that suits you, whatever you're looking to do. Great question. Next question: what happens if I need assisted living later? Do I have to move again? There's a lot of great programs. We just went through this with a family member. There's the Visiting Angel program. There's the in-house programs, if you're lucky, where someone will stay with you. There's also assisted living facilities where one I believe is forget the name of it now, it escapes me, but there's different levels you can go to. So if you're independent, you can move into that one, kind of like independent, live independently. As you age and as you progress through your aging process, it switches to an assisted living model. But if you need living, there's some in-home solutions. Maybe that's another video topic we can do just to kind of prepare for that ahead of time, another webinar topic. But there are some options to stay in the house that we can help brainstorm with you. All right, we'll take another question. How long does it usually take to sell a home around here? It's a super competitive market. So inventory, like I said, went down 5.5% since last year. The average days on the market nationwide fluctuates around 26. We'll have to get that figure in New Jersey. We try and keep our homes on the market within 10 days. That's when sellers have the most leverage. And then from 10 days, usually it's about 45 days after that. So it really comes with the value of planning ahead, putting a game plan together ahead of time, just so everything runs smoothly. Whether it's the sale and the buy process, there's a lot of moving parts. And that's the value of just reaching out to us where we can handle everything for you and just to make sure everything runs smoothly. So, long story short, about probably like 45 to 60 days after, and we could time it perfectly so the move works out as best as it can for most people. We helped that people I was that couple I was talking about today downsize their house. They were able to sell. They wanted one last Christmas in their house, which we got for them. So we pushed the closing back 30 days, and then they moved into their house in early January. So we made the last Christmas come true there, and everybody was happy. Last question: how far in advance should I start preparing to move? I would say as soon as possible. If you're even thinking about it, reach out. This is such a great question. I love this question. If you're just thinking about it, just reach out and say hello. It doesn't have to be an extensive call like this. We could just chat. We could just set you up with some searches. I would say on average, the average customer reaches out to us probably about 1.5 to 2 years, sometimes longer, which we're fine with. But as soon as possible, just because there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot more than you think you need to do. I would just do it today. If you, even if you're thinking like 5 years from now, just do it today. Just come say hello to us. Our email address is over55nj@gmail.com. And you can always just reach out there or just send us a direct message. As they say these days, we're not hard to find. All right. Thanks so much for coming. We really appreciate you. We shared the contact links here. You can follow our YouTube channel at over 55NJ. Join our group. Feel free to send this group too. If you have someone that wants to join, we love friends of friends. You can just send them the link over 55NJ.group. It will take us right to the Facebook group. We really appreciate you. We'd love to hear from you. It means a lot to us to present and just come on here every week and talk to you and interact. So we'll have more content for you. If there's a topic that you want covered, feel free to reach out. Those are the best topics because these are stuff that you would want to hear about, and I guarantee you other people would want to hear about it too. So if you have any suggestions and anything that you want covered, any questions, feel free to reach out. Like I said, we're not hard to find. All right. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.